Hello, we're live. Welcome to Business Growth Insiders, episode number 20. Woohoo!
Hooray!
Lisa, we made it to 20.
We have made it. We have made it. And you know what it is? It's all about retention, right? Just
Yeah, it
being
is.
consistent and delivering.
That's right. And we try hard to be as consistent with this as possible. We both have very, very busy companies at this time, and getting this time together to be able to talk to experts is obviously something that we make the time for, and I'm glad that we are. Speaking of which, today we have this amazing guest for you guys. Her name is Anna Parker Hemming. Anna, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
We're doing good. We're doing real good. Now you can see Lisa has a new background, which is really nice. It's very nice. I have absolutely nothing behind me. It's boring as all get out. But anyways, I digress. All right. So Anna, I want to go through kind of your bio here and then and just kind of let you take it away. All right. So
Okay.
guys, Anna has worked for national and international corporations for nearly 20 years. She left the office behind to provide much needed support for her husband's pressure washing business. She applied her project management, continuous improvement, business development, and data analysis skills to achieve significant growth in just a few months. The success was noticed by other business owners who asked her to help them achieve similar success. And so Deeping Business Development was created, offering a straightforward business development service to small business owners. So Anna, take that and expand upon it. What tell us the story of how this whole thing started.
Well, I thought that it would be very difficult to transition from being in a corporate environment to being self-employed. And what I quickly discovered was, because I enjoyed the corporate environment, I liked the coffee machine and the vending machine and, going to the canteen. I thrived in that I'd never had a desire to go self-employed. And then when I moved to the US and started helping my husband with his business, because everything I loved about corporate, he hated, which is why he started his own business. And so I quickly discovered that's a lot of business owners. They don't want to be responsible to someone else, but the bad experience they had that led them to drive to their own business meant they hadn't picked up the same kind of skills that I did, because I enjoyed the environment. And I didn't have to change very much to fit into a self-employed business, because all that corporate aspect, if you don't have that, it can become very difficult, and you end up creating a job for yourself rather than a business.
Oh, I love that. I love that point.
Yes. And that's unfortunately what happens to a lot of people, unless they hit a tipping point. And so with the pressure washing business, it's all about the customer. And it's about making people happy, as it is with a lot of businesses. But for pressure washing, you probably only see that customer once in 12 months. It could be once in 2 years. So it quickly became obvious to me that the most important thing wasn't necessarily gaining new customers, it was holding on to the existing ones. Because if you keep them happy, they refer to their neighbors and their friends. And so that's what I went after, was holding on to those customers and making something that was repeatable. And it was doing it without necessarily spending a lot of money to start with, which brings its own challenges, because most business owners, it's have to spend money to make money. And I refuse to do that.
So Anna, this mindset that you have is not one that's commonly found amongst small business owners. They're always thinking they have to go get new customers, fill the funnel, try to cultivate those leads. And so what you've done is taken the customers that you have and really put attention and focus on them. So tell us a little bit of what that looks like, because in an industry such as power washing, where all you have to do is post on any social media channel, hey, I need a power washer, and there's 5 names that come forward. How did you go about doing that?
So I had to learn about pressure washing. It's not very interesting. If you ever need to fall asleep at night, give me a call. But there's different types of equipment. So I had to learn about all the equipment my husband had and why he had it, so that I could explain the differences between the guy with the truck that pulls pressure washer out that's on a little set of wheels and drives it around, compared to this huge trailer with 500 gallons of water that my husband was moving around. And so there was a lot around educating and seeing what others were doing or were not doing. And this is Georgia. There's a lot of pressure washers in the South. Mm-hmm. And so what I found was they were just trying to fight over price. And that was something that I had to really focus on with my husband to stop him negotiating down. Because what are you worth? What is your time worth? What is the money you've put into the equipment to learning your process? What is that worth? And, don't be the $99 guy. And getting him to see that customer that turns around and goes, oh no, you're too expensive. Well, they're not your customer. Mm-hmm. They're someone else's customer, because there was a whole line of people that didn't say that. And he struggled with that. And we had to work on that for a while for him to see that, know your worth, no matter what mm-hmm. industry, and know what you are worth and stand by it. Because otherwise you'll drop prices too low. Suddenly you'll realize you have to put them up, and you'll lose all the customers you had because they like the low price, not the high price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you bring up a good point about price cutting. Is when people, the first thing they ask you is, what do you charge? They don't see your value. They see you as a commodity. So one pressure washer looks like the other one. So being able to educate them, that was your strategy that you took.
Yes. Being able to talk to people about why our prices were different, what we were able to do, what we wouldn't do, the fact we didn't need ladders. So I started with the education and posting a lot on social media about that. And through networking, I was able to develop that script further of how to educate people, because you're then in an environment where people aren't buying off you. They want to be able to understand what you do to refer you to other people. So you learn to talk about it differently. And for me, that's the big thing about networking. It's not necessarily gaining those referrals. It's being educated by other people with different backgrounds in different businesses and learning from them. And you do that with each other, and you pick up things that worked for someone else in a different industry, and you can translate it to work in your industry. So we did chocolates, which no one had done. And the initial thought with the chocolates was to put a picture of the customer's clean house on the box. That quickly failed because you have to leave the customers to go pick up the chocolates and then remember to go back to the customer. You're now doing double the mileage you were doing. Mm-hmm. It's like that doesn't benefit anyone. And if they're not home and it's summer, they're just going to get this horrible mess in a box because they've melted. So I changed the box, and I did something that very often you are told not to do. And I just put our logo and our phone number on it. So I made it more about us than the customer. But what anyone really cared about was the fact there's chocolate inside the box. They don't care what the box looks like.
Yeah.
They want the chocolate. And we've had customers that will walk around their house claiming they are checking the work so that they can eat the chocolate before going back in, so they don't have to share them with their spouse. So the chocolates worked that I'm aware of. We didn't end any marriages.
Got close though.
Yeah.
So where did when they finished the power washing, they handed them some chocolate, or so that how is how it wrapped up.
That's where it started and where it evolved from. You give me a check, I'm going to give you a thank you gift. I'm not just going to say thank you and drive away. I'm going to give you something so you don't have an empty hand when I walk away. And so it was the chocolates, and the chocolates worked really well. We had someone go on to Nextdoor who had used us but couldn't find their last invoice. And so on Nextdoor, they went, who's the pressure washer that gives you chocolate? And 5 people put the company name and phone number for this person. So wow. Chocolate is very powerful, apparently. It worked. And I didn't have to do a lot of back and forth and try and make it about the customer. It was just keep it simple. They're not going to keep the box anyway. They drive up to their house every day. They don't need another picture of the outside of their house. It's the chocolates that were important. So it evolved from chocolates, and I added in pens because everyone can use a pen. So we put a pen in with them. And then we switched out chocolates for jelly beans in the summer because jelly beans won't melt. So the company colors are blue and yellow. So I got blue and yellow jelly beans and put those out. And I recently, because of COVID-19, we stopped putting food in our gift bags. And we had a few people that were upset about not getting their chocolate. But I use another service to send thank you cards, and I was able to send those people a thank you card with some brownies. So they still got some chocolate and a personal note saying, we're sorry you were disappointed about the chocolate, so here's some brownies. So I was able to do that, but I did a survey to all of our customers to ask if they were comfortable for us to put the chocolate and the jelly beans back in our gift bags. And I got an 80% yes. So they want their candy. So we put them back in. We've gone about 6 months without them, but we put them back in. And it was just listening to the customers. Once you start handing them something, they start questioning things and asking about different things. And it was through that the gift box of chocolates turned into a gift bag. So there's chocolates or jelly beans, there's a pen, there is a fridge magnet with our information on so that they never lose it. So that stopped that happening. And there's a postcard in there that looks like a recipe card, but it's not for cookies, it's not for the chocolates. It's a simple recipe that the customer can use to help keep the outside of their house clean for longer once we leave. So I've given them something that means they now go longer before they call us again.
Anna,
and I appreciate that.
Anna, what you've done is you've taken a transaction and you moved it into an action that people talk about. The fact that now you are now known as the company, the power washing company that gives chocolates or jelly beans. People are telling other people, but I think the brilliance of it is I'm handing you a check or I'm paying you and I get something in return, and it's pretty quick that I remember it, that feeling that is there. So that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it is. You think of most people that come to your house to do something for you, whether it's a plumber or electrician, you pay them and they leave, you're left with something now that was broken or dirty and it's now clean or fixed, but you lost money because you had to hand them money. So your hand's empty. So it was all about not leaving them with that empty hand. And what can we do to make sure that doesn't happen? And I included referral cards as well. So each card has a value of $10. So if they hand it to a friend, the friend gets $10 when they use it, and the customer we gave it to gets a $10 credit for their next pressure washing. And they get an email when they're used, so they know they have those. And we have had people who have taken the bag and got their card, and the neighbors already kind of been round and go, while you're here, can you do this? And as soon as they see the card, they go running to the neighbor going, make sure you use this.
You need to put a 24-hour wait 24 hours to use this card wording on there to keep those people from doing that now.
Yes, but it works. It's pressure washing can be expensive depending on the size of your home and everything that you need to have clean, and it's not a huge discount, but it's a discount. Places like Groupon work because people are getting a discount. So it's the fact you're giving them something back that will make next time a little bit cheaper for them. People love that. Whether they use it or not, they like that they were given the opportunity to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it works really, really well. And everything's all yellow and blue. So it keeps us keeps us in mind.
So let me ask you a question. From a retention standpoint, how has this really, what does this play out in the numbers? How does this look from a retention standpoint? Are you seeing a massive amount of returns now since you implemented all of these strategies?
Yes. Yeah. We had a few people before, but now we do all of this. There are cards that go out through the year in the mail because people don't receive a lot in the mail anymore unless it's a bill or it's junk. So they get a thank you card. We say happy Thanksgiving, and we say happy St. Patrick's Day, where we ask if their house is celebrating St. Patrick's Day, has it turned green like the beer? and then at the 12-month point, they get a postcard just asking if it needs cleaning yet, not telling them it's 12 months and they should, but just asking if it's dirty yet. And that is the big thing that both me and my husband are both very passionate about when it comes to the pressure washing. If it's not dirty, we don't need to clean it. So we don't want to come and cost you the money when it's not dirty yet. So we understand people waiting until after pollen.
Yeah. Anna, you've told the story before about sending out these cards and how it ended up getting you more business. Maybe somebody moved you. Do you know which story I'm talking about?
Yes. So a lot of our referrals come from realtors. And that's people that want their house cleaned for the best possible photos. And so we educate the realtors on what we usually clean in that situation, because people are moving on to their next home, whether they've found it or not. They don't want to spend money on the current one if they don't have to, because they want to sell it. So we do a different clean. But again, that customer, it gets put in the cycle for all of the cards. And what happens at that 12-month point is the card very often gets returned to us. And if they did with the post office for their mail to be forwarded, that return includes the address of where they've moved to. It's just the amount of time for forwarding the mail has lapsed, so the post office won't give it to the new address. And what I then do with those is I take that new address, give it to my husband for him to do a new quote for the new address, because they've been in that new house about a year now. And I send them a quote with a personal email pointing out to them that they've been in their new house about a year and we hope they're settling in. And if they want to get the new home cleaned, here's the quote. So they've had to do nothing. And the company that they trusted to clean, to get them to sell their house, is right there for them. They don't even have to look for us. And we had a $500 job turn into a $1,500 job with the new house.
Wow.
Nice.
Came straight back and was like, great, come clean it.
That's awesome.
So
That's amazing.
So,
Yeah.
So my wife literally just texted me during this and said, will you have her come wash our house and bring chocolate, ! And so she's watching and she likes what you have to provide already. So thanks. This interview is going to cost me a lot of money, isn't it, Anna? Jeez.
It sounds like it might, yeah.
My goodness.
But you'll get chocolate.
She'll get chocolate. I'm not going to get anything. She's the one that walks around the house and eats it before she comes in.
Yeah. And it's Hershey's chocolate now.
Oh.
And we changed it up so that they have a wrapper over the Hershey's wrapper with enhanced power washing on.
Nice.
So it's even now it's about changing things up, not leaving things just as they are.
Yeah.
The chocolates work, but can we do the chocolates differently? Can we add something other than the jelly beans in? Now there's a lot around masks and hand sanitizer. And for a pressure washing business, with the kind of quantities that you generally have to purchase, some of those things wouldn't work for us because of there being too many. And in general, you only clean 1 or 2 houses a day.
Right.
But for others, it's like if you're seeing a lot of people, then those little things of hand sanitizer that will clip onto, a purse or a belt or something are a great giveaway, because your name is then just floating around everywhere, and all you did was give them hand sanitizer.
Yeah, and Anna, go ahead.
I was going to say, see, this is what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention. I think you should add toilet paper. I really do. I think you should add 1 roll of toilet paper right into the bag. Some line about cleaning up your mess or whatever. Since it's COVID-19, it'll work. That and change, because apparently we're in a shortage of change. And just to talk about the inevitable, the elephant in the room. Anna, where Anna's located, they have construction going on that they refuse to stop for our show, as you can hear. So that's not gunshots in the background. We're not in the middle of a riot. That is a construction due to some structural issues in the office. Good Lord. But we're pressing through here, people. We have some millennials. You have to talk about. You got to break that fourth wall down. Everybody wants to talk about what's the obvious thing here. So
yes,
shut up now. All right, Lisa, your turn.
All right, very good. Well, what I was going to say is, it's not just about chocolate and hand sanitizer. And Jeff, I've already paid the check to Anna's company. We've already done this. But I can tell you from that experience, it's not just about the details and I hand you the check and I get the chocolates. It's about the manner in which we receive the quotes so quickly, the confirmation ahead of the appointment, the call afterwards. Were you happy? You can tell this is not just a guy that's pulling up with the truck, that forces water and cleans your house. It's someone who pulls up that really cares about their job and what they're doing. They take pride in their work and they want you to be happy. So it was a wonderful experience that we have. And go ahead.
I don't want to gloss over that. That was the most impressive thing when Lisa and I were discussing you, Anna, and Elwood's company on for having you on the show, was that process. So I want you to unpack that if you wouldn't mind, because small business owners need to take some serious notes on this portion. Those of them that actually will go on to 25 minutes of this, but unpack that exactly, kind of what that process looks like.
So it's communication, constant communication without being annoying. So it's not calling someone every day, did you get the quote? When are you going to book? It's about making sure, depending on how that request came in, we have an online form. So if it came in through the online form, they get an email acknowledging that. So straight away there's communication. And then through the system, I keep a check-in with my husband. So he was already doing a call and a text the night before to reconfirm that he would be on his way. I just extended that process. Mm-hmm. So there's check-ins. Did you receive your quote? So not, are you booking? It's like, did you receive it? And if you're happy, here's your options of what to do. But it's all about, did you get it? And then, a check-in over the phone from my husband of like, do you have any questions? And keeping that communication up front is key to people saying, yes, I'm going to book you. The reason that communication, especially in pressure washing, was it really important is people very often get multiple quotes. Mm-hmm. And what we were finding is we were giving our quote quickly. And then we were waiting weeks with a potential customer saying, well, this person came around before you, but still hasn't sent me their quote. And in my mind, all I could see is, that person can't be bothered.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you waiting?
Yeah.
What customer service are you going to get from this person if they don't? So by upping our communication and making it very simple, just check-ins, did you get it? Do you have any questions? Just meant that people were getting fed up a lot faster with the company that wouldn't get them the quote. Because as a customer, it shouldn't be for you to chase up a quote. Mm-hmm. They should be trying to get your business. You shouldn't be trying to give your business away to people. So I made sure we stepped in and that we were seen as the company that was going to do that. We were always going to communicate with you. And we follow that through into the pressure washing, because not everyone can be home when we pressure wash. We're not getting inside your home, so you don't need to be there. But we check the house. If anything looks out of the ordinary, if something looks broken, like a window, which could mean water would get inside, we take photos, we text the photos to the customer, and we get them on the phone just to confirm. And the landlords that we work with love that, because they don't necessarily get to see their properties very often. So if we turn up and go, hey, there's a broken window, I can't clean the house, they probably don't even know the window's broken. Right. And so they have something there to deal with. But we communicate with before and after photos so that people can see the difference. We give people usually just 24 hours, because it's the outside of the home. There's nothing we can do about the weather. So we can't really give people a long time to have a really good look at their home, because if it rains, mud could splash up it. Again, there are things that could happen that are out of everyone's control. So we give people 24 hours. We check on them in the evening if we haven't heard from them, if they weren't home, and make sure they're happy with it. If they're home and they want to walk around the house, after we pressure wash, then we will walk them around and we will talk them through everything we did, everything we found, and we will do that with them. I mean, we have some people that just like to watch, because we don't use a ladder. And so our process is soft washing. So we use detergents, we use cleaning agents in there. It's not high pressure water. So they like to watch and ask questions about the process, and occasionally pull out their own Home Depot pressure washer, their little one, and go, what do you think of this? So that's always a fun conversation, because we can then point out, okay, with this, do these things. This is what you can clean. So we always say no job is too small, because we will come out, we will help anyone clean anything. Yeah. But for the customer, there are jobs that are too small. They don't want to pay someone to do it. So we try and help those people with what they should or shouldn't do. We talk about the different pressure washing tips and how they should and shouldn't clean, and what their machine would do compared to what our commercial machines would do, so that they're not going to damage their property. Yeah. And that's what we try to make clear to them. Don't break anything.
Yeah. So that's more education for them. But the one thing that our listeners are really, you've got these satisfied customers. How do you convert that into reviews? And you've got a process on how you capture reviews that I think would be really helpful.
Yes. So I use a system that allows me to put the customer's information in. Basically, Zapier gave me back my sanity because of how it automates things. Yeah. So I was able to, the minute my husband marks an invoice as paid in QuickBooks, which if the check's in his hand, that's what he does. It triggers in another platform called Birdeye, in there for it to send the customer's information, so their name, a phone number, and an email address, and that triggers a request that is emailed to them and text to them, asking them for a review. Because that way I've got people at their most happy, because I've just given them chocolate. So they've not got that empty hand. They're happy with the house. They've got candy in their hand and some free stuff and the opportunity for a discount on their next pressure washing. And so that's the point. It's like, would you leave us a review? And that makes a huge difference, not waiting. Anything you can do to automate your process and get things moving without you having to continually push a button, it makes life easier and it gets things moving a lot quicker. So the customers are more likely to react to it and more likely to answer it, especially the text messages. That's where a lot of people do it, because it comes up on their phone with a link and they can just hit that. Our phones are basically computers now. So it takes them straight there, and they can put in a review. They can go on Nextdoor and recommend us. And that is huge. Even a bad review can be turned into a good review. It's all about how you respond to it and not getting angry and
that you actually do respond, even to the positive ones. It's very important to do that.
Yes, and the thing with the positive reviews is that they're not looking for a response. So I'm able to automate a response to a 5-star review, to just say, thank you, put in their name, and, we appreciate your business. Because the people that want a response aren't giving you 5 stars. So those are the ones you need to read, you need to look at. But so that saves time. I know they're being answered. I know they're getting a thank you. So they get a thank you right there for the review. They get a thank you in the mail. They've been handed a gift bag. We keep saying thank you. Basically for a year, we keep saying thank you. We find an opportunity. Thanksgiving, we say thank you. Our commercial clients, we give them a gift basket at Thanksgiving, because everyone does something for Christmas and the holidays and not necessarily Thanksgiving. Right. Well, Thanksgiving is about saying thank you. So we say thank you, and anything I can find out that I can do to personalize those gift baskets, I do. One commercial client I work with, he has dogs in his office. His employees are allowed to bring in their dogs. As long as they're well behaved, they can bring them in. So the gift basket included treats for the dogs as well as the people. So it's picking up on those little things and just, making a note and having someone good that you can turn to provide them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing they will make those adjustments when you think of them. Because if you've got someone that is also creative on that end, they're going to feed in ideas too. And there's nothing wrong with saying no to their ideas. Because they've only got so much in making that customer happy. You as the business owner wants them to keep paying you money and coming back. You have more in it. So it's about finding a balance between that creativity and getting it right to send them something that's just it's thoughtful and it's memorable. You keep doing that, people keep coming back.
Yeah, some really great tips, Anna. So what has happened is your power washing business has really taken off, and you have been able to provide this service to other folks. I know we're getting close to end of our time here. So how would you go about if someone wanted to contact you and was interested in doing this in their business?
So the best way to contact me is usually through email rather than phone. My clients are usually on the phone with me, so emails are much easier for me to deal with. So it's just info@deepingbd.com. And if they give me as much information as possible about what it is they're struggling with, I can have some things prepared before a conversation to go through with them. One of my clients calls me a business coach, and I keep going, I'm not a business coach, but we do talk through a lot of things like I was. But it's keeping it simple for those people that want to try and figure some of this out themselves. It's keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. The simplest things get the best results because they were simple and they're not taking up too much of your time. The last thing you want is to be spending all your time trying to handwrite thank you cards to people because you want to make it as personal as possible, and then you're never getting a quote out. And then the thank you cards just sit there because you never finished any. So you go in with the best intentions. So it's whatever you can do to make it simple for you and automate it, then do that because it's very effective.
And there you go, folks. Automation is the key to sanity. That and not working in a building that's constantly in construction. All right, Anna, it was an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Everything that we talked about, guys, will be in the show notes. We'll put Bird Eye in there. It's birdeye.com. We'll put Zapier in there so you guys can take a look at that as well. Zapier is an amazing thing, but if you have no idea what to do with it, reach out to me or Anna or Lisa, and we'll be happy to assist you with integrating some Zaps. Is there any other kind? Well, actually, you know what? I'm just going to say it anyways, because we talked so much about your husband's power washing company. So, guys, if you're in the Atlanta metro region and you need your house, your commercial property power washed, please email info@enhancepowerwashing.com. You can also call them at 678-713-1167. I just want to go to their website. It's enhancepowerwashing.com. Again, enhancepowerwashing.com. Anna, again, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
awesome.
Great lessons for our listeners. So thank you so much.
All right, y'all. You know what time it is. Take that business of yours
and grow.
Thanks, guys.